Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Roundup. We're going to cover the games from this morning in the LPL and LCK, as well as preview both Eastern regions games tomorrow and preview the LCS games that are going to take place Friday. Just one second. Let me try and bring the light, hopefully, to this board. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come. So, 54 and 30. I went 2-2 here. LCS obviously has not played yet today. So, that is why there was no LCS roundup on here. I did say last week before the LCS began, I would be doing the LCS games the day after. Because it goes so late into the night, this video would not go out until a couple hours before the Eastern regions play. And Friday to Saturday, literally an hour before Korea would play at 1 in the morning. So there was no way I'm going to do that. LCS recaps are the day after the games are played, the midday. So that's the deal with that. So 54 and 30, 2-2 in these matchups. LPL, very straightforward. Expected outcomes. JDG win over NiP 2-0. JDG third in the power rankings 1-0. NiP 1-1. Knight led the way 11-1-7. 27% damage. A Jace really sticks out to me, but the Yone. The Yone in game one was super impactful. Looked absolutely disgusting on the champion. Ruler 13-2-15 MVP status. His Zeri in game 2 was exceptional. One of the better Zeri games we've seen since the champion's release. Ruler obviously one of the better players. I mean, one of the best AD carries ever. But one of the best Zeris as well. Not to I guess every Zeri, if you can't play Zeri at like a 7 out of 10, you probably suck. But Ruler, Jackie Love, and a couple others really are exceptional. Prince at Zeri especially. Fodic, 5-4-2, 31% damage. JDG just playing great League of Legends, right? 369 fell on the sword game 1 playing the Gragas. And then in game 2, Knight didn't play Jace. Rookie did. Knight played Talia in game 2, which is a facilitator. Gragas in top lane's a tank. Somebody has to fall on the sword with JDG, one of these star players, and right now it is those solo laners. Who knows, maybe it'll be Ruler's turn next time to play a Varus or something that's a little more utility-based with a strong support. NiP really didn't stand a chance. Invincible looked pretty sus at times. Fodic, though, I mean, doing his work, right? Positive KDA, dealing damage, trying his damnedest, but couldn't get the job done. Top and Rare Adam. Yesterday I overlooked that. I actually put Rare Adam in my top 25. Rare Adam 25th, top 5th. Topper 1-0. RA 2-0. Top win the series 2-0 handily. Rookie 16-2-11, 28% of damage. Like I said, the Jace game 2 was good. But the Akali game 1 was absolutely disgusting. Mid-game, he was 7-0-0 on the champion. Just super. Like, this was like the peak rookie. It really was. King Tian, 11-3-9 in top lane. He had one of the best plays of the year thus far. He played a Darius 1v3 with very low health and did he crushed Rare Adam in that sequence. Asim 6-7-3, 29% damage. As I felt Rare Adam's bot lane actually got the better of tops. A couple 2v2 kills, a couple early kills in general, and did very, very well. I'm not gonna lie, I've been an Asim fan, not fan, but a proponent of him since his LGD debut. I thought he was very good there. Obviously, alongside Southwind, I thought he'd be a little better than what he's been. But RA are 2-1 now, and I thought they did fine down there against one of the better bot lanes in the world. Held their own, and I felt they actually had the edge during laning phase at some points. And the thing is, like, RA, Leon couldn't resist picking Nidalee in game 1, and it looked good a little bit, but no. In the end, absolutely not, as rookies Akali took over. And game 2, was a little not quite as crazy as game 1, but top really, really did some work outside of, I guess, the Darius play with King Tian. That was really something to behold. If you missed it, you should look it up. LCK, I got both of these wrong. So, Bro, 22nd in the power rankings, 2-2, DRX 1-3. DRX would not get off the schneid here. Bro winning 2-1. Henna was MVP, going 16-1-11, 30% of damage. His Zeri in game 1 and game 3. That laning phase, they smacked the crap out of Duck Dumb and Barrel. Absolutely, forehand, backhand, uppercut, it did not matter. DRX's bot lane got absolutely smashed in this one. Kara 7-3-13 in mid. I believe he played a Jace and a Silas. Or maybe just played Silas in game 2. I forget what game 1 was, but it's kind of irrelevant. Fate 5-3-10, 28% damage. Fate did his job. He played Jace game 1. That's where I'm getting the Jace from. And I thought he did some good things in game 2. But they could not overcome this bot lane. This bot lane was awful. Barrel played Twitch in game 3. And he almost died level 1. And, I saw on Twitter LS saying, he was really happy about the Twitch pick. And then the way Barrel played it really just inted the pick to hell and back. And the fact of the matter is, nobody else is probably going to pick it because they'll overlook why Barrel was playing the champion improperly and condemn the champion instead of condemning Barrel in the game. Pretty much is what the gist I got from it. But, DRX continue to struggle. And I posed this question in the Discord this morning when I woke up before even watching these games. And I was like, how long before Juhan ends up in the lineup? Because they have a substitute jungler that is I don't think he's that much worse than Krako. I'm not a bit, and if you follow the channel for a while, Juhan is not a player that I talk very fondly of. I don't think he's very good, but I don't think Krako's very good either. And maybe that shakeup is just what the team needs, a little a little spark, if you will. Because right now it's not working for them. 1-4, they need to start getting wins and winning fast. Rascal had some good moments out of Jax, sticking out to me at a double kill, almost a triple kill in top lane. So, Bro are going to stay in the top 25 as of now as DRX fall to 1-4. T1 and HLE. T1 first in the power rankings, 4-0, no more. HLE 1-3. Speaking of teams getting off the schneid, HLE did. Winning 2-1. Viper 13-4-19, 30% damage as MVP. Zeka 13-5-11. Faker 6-9-9, 28% damage. So Klid actually played well in this one. He missed a smite, if I recall correctly, but compared to the way Klid's been playing, he played pretty solid. Kingen looked bad in game 1, but played the Ornn in game 2 in a good way. In a good way. He played Ornn in game 2 very well. I think he had up 3-3-28 by the end of the game. That's pretty solid given the way he had started the series. But Viper ends up being MVP. Really comes down to game 3 in that last team fight. And, it could be either Viper or Zeka for MVP of this series, honestly. I don't think that it really... I think it was a group effort. Zeka, I think, was on Kassadin, and Viper was on Draven at the time. What's there really to say? Carrier picked Soraka game 3, and I've been calling for the Soraka, but the Jinx? No one's playing Jinx. What is this? Guma playing Ziggs and Jinx. What is that about? No, I think he played Draven, Ziggs, and Jinx in this series. Come on. Why are we playing this stuff? I don't think Draven's that good. We haven't seen enough Ziggs for me to get a real good feel for it because I don't play. But at the same time, RNG tried Ziggs yesterday. It didn't work, so T1 must have been inspired by that a bit. Jinx in game 3, nobody's playing Jinx. Nobody is, so that was sus. So, HLE get the win. T1 finally, they got the loss out of the way. No more 18-0 spring back-to-back. As now there's 3 teams tied 4-1 in the LCK. Speaking of that, we'll preview the LCK slate for tomorrow. We got 2 of those 4-1 teams going at it. The Freaks and KT. Freaks 0-4, KT 2-2, 9th in my power rankings. They beat HLE last time they were on the Rift, and the Freaks lost to DRX. Week 5, Day 4 of Summer, KT would win 2-0. 3 out of the 10 players from that series will be starting tomorrow. Aiming and Cuz for KT, and Moham for KDF. Aiming 15-3 and 12 in those 2 games. Bulldog and BDD is the matchup I highlighted. Discord agrees. Bulldog obviously being the only consistent part of KDF so far this split. The young 17-year-old has to try and persevere through this awful year as KDF kind of worked through their issues. Sandbox and Gen G, so these are the other two 4-1 teams. Sandbox 20th, Gen G 4th. Sandbox beat Nongshim Red Force. Gen coming off of a big win, statement win against D+. Last time they played was in the playoffs in summer where Gen G would win 3-1. Half of the players from that series are starting tomorrow. We've got Doran, Peanut, Chovy, and then Closer and Kale, so the mid laners overlap. Chovy went 15-4 and 37 across those 4 games, where Closer went 9-12 and 24. Discord agrees with my sentiment that Envy Kale Pays Delight is the matchup to watch. Both of these bot lanes very young. Kale and Pays obviously the youngest player, but Kale is also pretty pretty inexperienced. I guess he played all last year, right? But he is very young. Envy, not a lot of games on his plate, and Delight is 20 years old. So this is a good matchup in the bot lane. I think that there's this is a good test for Sandbox. If they can take Gen to 3 games, that'll be good for them. If they get blown out 2-0, that'll kind of solidify them in the standings where they are power rankings wise. For the meantime, LPL, these two matchups in the LPL are pretty bad. So combined, all these records, we have 0-5 and 1-3, so 1-8 between the 4 teams. LGD and Anyone's Legend, LGD 0-2, AL 0-3. AL lost to Ultra Prime, which is kind of funny. The only win between these 4 teams was because somebody had to win. LGD 0-2, lost to OMG. Week 3, day 4 of summer, LGD would win 2-0. 5 out of the 10 players from that series will be in the series tomorrow. Hai Chao in mid lane for LGD is taking back a spot from XQW. Hai Chao went 2-2-25 as a pretty much glorified support. Discord, Jaiju and ZDZ was the matchup highlighted. I can't say much about that. I think both. Jaiju's a rookie, so maybe he just shows up because ZDZ's not that good. I mean, this matchup's going to be pretty bad. Ultra Prime and FPX. Ultra Prime 1-1 beat AL. FPX 0-2 lost to BLG in 3 games. Week 9, day 1 of summer, FPX would win 2-0. Only 2 players from that starting 10 will be in the matchup tomorrow on that team. Technically, Hacker was playing for Ultra Prime in that one and now plays for FPX. Care went 13-5 and 12 in mid, and because Hacker changed teams, that's the matchup highlighted, Ning versus Hacker. So that's a matchup we saw probably in 2020. It's back again. We'll see what FPX looks like with their jungler they signed, right? Because hey, Howie's been playing for those 2 series, and Howie did not look very good. So maybe a veteran in that spot will help FPX kind of get it together between the 2 young solo laners in Xiaolahu and Care. I do think that kind of matters. LCS preview for tomorrow. Both of the top 25 LCS teams play. FlyQuest 10th, C9 13th. Both 2-0 as of right now. Obviously, these LCS teams will play tonight. Last time they played was a tiebreaker at the end of summer where C9 would win. 4 out of the 10 players from that game are in the game tomorrow, all on C9. Fudge went 9-2 and 5 on a Gwen in that one. Obviously, Discord agrees the bot lane matchup is the one to watch, right? The 2 Korean import bot laners. Prince versus Berserker. How's it going to go? I don't know if Eiler or Winsome's playing, but it's Berserker and Sven on the other side, so this is the test, right? These are the 2 top 80 carries in the LCS, and how do they fare? We will find out. After that is Dig and EG. Dignitas 0-2, EG 1-1. Week 8, day 2 of summer, EG 1. Half the players that started in that game will start in the game tomorrow. The overlap is at support, possibly. I don't know if Ignar or Biofrost starts tomorrow. I think we're waiting on Ignar import stuff. These more specifically. Vulcan was very good in that game, going 0-0-15 last year. Biofrost 0-3-4. Jensen and Jojo Pune is a matchup that Discord and I believe is the best one. Obviously, Old Blood versus New Blood. as JoJo continues to try and solidify himself going forward. I mean, Armet versus Someday kind of seems like a wash. Santorin versus Inspired. Inspired favored. I mean, mid lane, it could be a close matchup. TSM and 100 Thieves after that. TSM 2-0, 100 Thieves 1-1. Week 5, day 1, 100 Thieves would win. 3 out of the 10 starters in that game start tomorrow. Closer being the only one for 100 Thieves. He went 1-1-7 on a trundle. Maple Bjergsen is the matchup highlighted. 5 out of 12 voters agree, as it was kind of spread across the board there. 2 older players, obviously, 2 of the oldest players actually in the 4 major regions. Somebody proposed a thought experiment late last night, where we made up teams of players 20 and under, so 2003 birthdays and younger, and then I did one where I was like, who was the team that's 25 and over, what's 1997 and over, and both these players are in that. Actually, Jensen was as well as part of that, as is Sven. So that's a thing. TL and Golden Guardians, both 0-2. Hopefully TL is 1-2 by then. I think they play Immortals today, and if they lose to Immortals, oh my. Week 8, day 2, TL 1. 4 out of 10 starters in that game start tomorrow. Core JJ being the only one for Liquid. He went 1-4-16. Pioshik and River is the matchup we want to watch. River, I think, has the potential to out-jungle Pioshik. I think he does. I think River is super talented. I think if River was on a team like HLE would not be 1-3. They'd be like 3-1. Or, I mean, not 2-3. They would be 3-2 or 4-1. Like, River has been stuck with terrible teams his whole time here. In the PCS, he looked very, very good. He's a super, I think he is a very good jungler. I don't think he's one of the best in the world, but I think if he has the right people around him, he can facilitate at a high level, find nice gank angles, and does his smites. And really, on a good team, that's all HLE needs, a guy that can smite and gank. Immortals and CLG finish us off this week. Immortals 0-2, CLG 2-0. Week 8, day 3, CLG would win. 7 of the 10 players in that game play tomorrow. Top laners overlap. Dokla went 3-1-5. Revenge 1-2-1. I highlighted the bot lane matchup. I thought the Turkish vibe with Luger and Fleshy was something interesting. But at the same time, I think this matchup is kind of blah. The top lane was what Discord likes. Revenge versus Dokla again. So we'll see how that goes to NA top laners. And yeah, so that's it for today's roundup. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube member. And thank you for watching.